Hello. A little early, but I'm going to get my microphone set up here. Let's go to town. I can't hear you guys, but that's okay.
Morning, Andy.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, perfect. Perfect.
Am I the only one here?
Mark Kerfman.
Nope, David Sweet.
Yeah, I know. I don't know Mark Kerfman, so someone else is here. Let me see if I can get my headphones correct. All right. How's that?
I can hear you fine regardless.
Yeah, I don't want the sound coming out of my speakers. I want them coming out of my headphones. Let me get this. So, how's Florida? You guys had a near miss this week, didn't you?
We did. Tampa hasn't been hit in about 80 years. We are the perfect confluence of locations to just have lots of narrow misses but no hits.
Oh, come on. How do I change? All right, chat window is up. Come on, just to change this. Video settings. There we go. Select a speaker. Boom. That should sound better. All right, say something.
I'm here.
Yeah, there we go. Yes. All right. Well, we got.
Who would have guessed you would have had to have been a tech wizard just to operate a computer now?
That's stupid.
Started to feel a little bit like my dad did when I was a snot-nosed kid running around with my TRS-80.
Yeah, I started. I started programming on an Apple IIe, doing H line and V line.
I still remember my very first program. I think I made a Christmas tree on my TRS-80.
Nice.
With a little line that scrolled underneath it saying Merry Christmas.
Hey.
Hold on for just a second.
Hey, Mark, are you alive? Are you around?
Carmelo?
Now Mark's in here twice. Mark, can you hear me now? Oh, I hear all kinds of things happening.
All righty, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Mr. Kerfman.
I am from the great state of Missouri.
Okay, welcome. What are you doing over there?
Say it again.
What are you doing in Missouri? What you're running an operation? What's your story?
No, actually, I just started my own about 6 months ago and kind of getting started.
Okay.
Doing full service with the reconstruction. So.
Nice. Were you working for somebody else up until then?
Actually, no. I owned a construction company up till that. And we always kind of did mold restoration for foreclosures.
Okay.
And I finally decided to get a little bit more legitimate with it, and went and got my WRT and ASD and from RIT in Nashville, and got my AMRT about 3 or 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Now you get all the waiting, all the book work out of the way. Now it's time to go actually make some money, huh?
Yep, that's where I'm at now. So.
Good. So all y'all calling in using your phones or your computers? I'm not seeing anyone using a video yet. Oh, there you are. There's Mr. Mark. Perfect.
Okay.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Oh, I got to figure out my mistake. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this. That's okay. So, okay, Alina, I just saw you come in. Alina, say hi.
Hello.
Where are you at?
How are you? You hear me?
Great. How's Utah?
It's hot. I'm really disappointed this year. It's so hot. It's 100 degrees again today.
It's unbearable. Yeah, it's going to be 104 here in Bend. It's going to be stupid.
Wow. It's nuts. Yeah. So, but otherwise, we're doing great.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, over in Missouri, you guys have like humidity to deal with.
Yep, we just got done with a heat wave, and it was 104, 105 for 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and now we have rain, and it's miserable.
Yeah. God.
See, you guys are just catching up with Florida.
Yeah.
Because it's 104, 105 degrees all the time with 80% relative humidity, and that's our default from about late May through late September.
Wow.
Yeah, no thanks. I guess I'm blessed with dry heat.
Yeah. I'll take the dry heat. I'll take the high desert. That's for sure.
I'll take dry heat all day long, every day. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, Mark, you've got 3 of the presenters for the upcoming Restoration 2.0 conference in the same room, as it were. So, what kind of questions you got as a new, just getting started dude? We've all been there. So, what are you struggling with right now?
Right now, I'm struggling getting signed up with the, I know it's not the long-term solution, but getting signed up with Contractor Connection and Code Blue, and just getting it out there and pay-per-clicks, and just, I just recently did a blast out to plumbers, and, for a referral program, and
Okay.
just kind of getting started.
Well, if you're going to go after plumbers, there's a great resource called not Talk Floods. That's a Facebook group. More Floods.
I actually just talked to someone from there this morning.
Okay. Is it More Floods, or is it? Now I'm going to move my screen over and.
There's More Floods, and then I guess 33-mile radius.
Yeah, those are not all it's cracked up to be.
Can I tell you that I finally signed up with 33-mile radius about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I've done pay-per-click for years, which is really all they're doing is just remarketing pay-per-clicks. And
okay.
We talked to them about their vetting, making sure that we actually had, since it's $325 per lead in my market, I want to make sure I'm getting somebody standing in water that needs someone to come right now, not for an estimate, not to have a chat about it, not to do an inspection, but a real honest to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, a real honest to God, please come respond, perform emergency services.
Okay.
I've had 6 leads in a month. 3 of them have been from outside of my service area by as far as I'm in Florida, in Tampa. I've had people calling in from Alabama.
Oh, geez.
It turns out the way that these guys are advertising is they put up a bunch of landing pages, they optimize and pay-per-click for them,
mm-hmm.
and they roll national franchises or names on it, like ServPro, ServiceMaster, Rainbow, etc. Right?
Yep.
So when people click on it, they think they're getting Service Master
Mm-hmm.
or ServPro, because all 5 that have called in, except one, said, well, is this Service Master? No, it's not Service Master. Well, I clicked on the Service Master. No, unfortunately, you've gone through a service called 33 Mile. Well, the particularly disappointing part about this, on top of the fact that they lied to me about how they vet their clients. Once they do that, they ask for a zip code, and if you're in that zip code, you get that. It's taking 6 to 8 hours of my time to get them to remove the dead, lousy referrals.
Yeah, and it's a poor substitute for doing your own PPC and SEO. It just is.
Well, I think for a while it worked real well, but I can tell you that now that I've had a month and a half of experience with them, I personally think it's unethical to do bait and switch.
Oh, I agree.
And I've told them unless they fix it, that I will be reporting them. I just don't think it's an honorable business practice. And if you're charging me $325 for a lead, I shouldn't have to explain why I'm not the person you just clicked on to connect to. It makes me look bad.
Yeah, and that's
as a company.
What, $1,800 worth of leads?
Well, and we didn't pay for any of them. But it probably took 30 hours of our time and our staff's time to do it. And if they can't get in contact back with the person that referred it, they won't take the lead off. Right. So what you have to do, if you do want to use them, is ask them for their list of questions for validating up front. Make sure you get zip codes so you can confirm it's not in your area, and get them on that recorded line to actually state that they're not in that area or that they don't want an emergency response.
That just sounds like a pain in the ass.
It is a great, big, colossal, monumental pain in the butt, yes.
So,
and not at all as represented.
What can you do with $1,800 worth of PPC? A lot.
Well, depending if you got good long tail keywords, if you got good negative keywords, a lot.
But that's what you pay.
I got news for you. Most people don't know how to work those things the right way. Even people that advertise don't know how to do it.
You don't have to know. There's services out there. I mean, there's services.
Yeah, but I mean, even the services are like that.
That's
most of the services won't go through. They won't do the keyword research. They won't do the negative. And when you pin them down, they'll tell you, well, how many companies do you do this for in a market that's similar to ours?
Okay.
Because Wisconsin is not a market like Tampa, Florida is.
No.
We don't have the same insurance environment. We don't have the same policies, largely now.
Right.
We have limits. We have TPAs. We have preferred vendors, and we have in-house company-owned restoration companies that they are now contractually obligated to use.
Yeah.
So marketing pay-per-click in my neck of the woods is nothing like doing it in other places.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. But I think
and they have nothing.
Majority of the country, you go find a reputable PPC SEO company. You give them a budget every month. You give them $1,500 a month, whatever you want, whatever you can afford. You're going to get that back 10x because and don't go to these remarketing companies. Essentially, is what 33 Mile Radius is remarketing. They're doing all the groundwork, and then just farming, just kind of selling these leads that they've already done the homework that you should do in your own market. The fact that you have a local address, a verified local Google business, and all these things that you actually live in the area you're in,
right?
That is going to enable you to put together a better PPC and a better SEO campaign than any company trying to do it on a national scale. So that's my opinion, and I think it plays out a lot. Looking at
you guys can hook up with me if you have a question on them.
Yeah.
If you're going to use them, anybody who gives me a lead or two a month, it's good. I'll use. You just have to know how to manage them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you at least how to manage them if you want to go through the trouble of doing it.
Exactly. All right. James Taylor just came in. Actually, OP was in first, but he's being quiet. You being shy this morning, OP?
Hey, good morning, Andy.
How you
doing?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm just driving in my car, and I had some time to jump on. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Once you introduce yourself, we got David Sweet. You know him. James Taylor's out of Missouri, right?
Indiana.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading James Taylor and looking at Mark. I'm sorry. Mark's out of Missouri. James Taylor's out of Indiana. We'll get to you in a second. Alina's on the line. Edward Conley. I haven't heard from him yet, but we'll have him introduce himself shortly. So go ahead, OP. What's your story?
Awesome. So, OP Almaraz, I started off at Service Master 22 years ago, and then went off to another restoration company, and we were doing about $3 million a year, and we began to scale. I became the vice president. I hired my little brother from the military to come and help us grow the business. After about 10 years, we got to $15 million. And my little brother and I decided, hey, you know what? We should probably start our own company. And we did. And the second year to the business, we did $2 million worth of revenue. And at that point, I knew that there was things out there that I didn't know about business. And it's, more money than we had ever collectively. And so we went off to get some business training. And we went off to Las Vegas in a seminar. And 1 minute we're taking notes. And the next minute I'm rushing my little brother to the hospital. And 14 days later, he passed away. And so that created a very large vacuum in my personal life and in my business life. And it was a lot of turmoil. And then my accountant attorney, months later came to me and said, hey, you know what, you're drowning. Your balance sheet looks like hell. Profit and loss statement is going to go down fast. And at that time, my adjuster clients weren't giving me business because they wanted me to mourn, or they were giving me space. But I was dying. And so I went out to go get some mentors. And I sought out some of the best mentors I could find at the time. And took some business. And basically, I told my attorney, Scott, fuck him. I'm not going to shut down the business. And I was on a mission to keep my business alive, because for me, it was a big part of my little brother. And I didn't feel like it's something I could. And now 8 years later, we're doing $6 million a year, and we're thriving.
Nice.
So, I think it's a shift in mindset really that makes the difference in all of us when it comes time to, well, we're all going to hit these bumps in the road. Sometimes they're going to be massive, and they're going to be life interrupters. And for me, the biggest thing was, finding the right group of people, mentors. Andy, similar to what you're building here, is being around like-minded people. So, a lot of people on the call have been in places that I've not been, and vice versa. And we can help each other out and really just get through some of these tough times. And that's why I'm so attracted to what you're building here. So that's my story.
Thanks, LP. Appreciate you coming. And you got an event coming up, the Restoration Mastery, end of August, right? In San Diego?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
23rd, something like that?
Yeah, the 26th and 27th, and it's basically a 2-day boot camp, and we go 10-hour days.
How much space you got in that class?
You know what? I had it for like 15 people, and right now I think we have like 9.
Okay. So you got some space.
We have some space.
It's not. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it offline. It might be something I'd like to take part in. All right, Mr. James Taylor, not of Missouri, Indiana. How you doing, brother? What's your story? What are you doing today?
Actually, I'm heading down to go monitor a job, and then off to go probably end up cleaning a bunch of equipment from a rush we just had. So,
nice.
Right now, I got a couple changes I'm actually going through. I currently work for a David Sweet here that has Midwest remediation.
Okay.
And Luke Spence, the fire and flood recovery. Me and him, I'm actually going to work for him probably within the next month and a half. We just, we've been friends for a while, but, through everything we've been talking about, through NORP and through the Restoration Rebels and, basically what our viewpoints are for the future, are just aligning up. So that's one of the big things that I'm excited about. So I just ended up having to talk to my boss that I've really, I mean, it's like a family where I work. So that's one of my biggest things right now. But it actually opened up an opportunity because I've been trying to talk to him about the things we've been doing, and it actually gave me an opportunity for him to finally, listen to what I've been trying to say, and he actually took a little bit of an interest in which direction we were going. Nice. And I'm hoping, for a company the size we are, I mean, this is the company I'm with now is a beautiful company. I mean, we've got everything we need. We've got a great structure. We've got a great foundation. I've got, there's security here that you won't find with a lot of companies, for the size that we are.
If you don't mind saying, what's your revenue on an annual basis?
That I wish I could answer for you, but I'm just I'm a lower, I don't get into the administration side as much.
How many crews you're running? How many trucks?
Right now we've got 6 trucks that we're running. We are actually getting ready to hire 3 more people. So everybody will be 2 men on a truck. This summer we actually had some college help, so that helped us move, and that's just our water mitigation side. Over on the microbial side, they've got 2 full crews over there of 4 guys per truck.
Yeah, sounds like you're probably sitting $4.5 million. Three.
Very well could be. Like I said, I don't really. They've got. I mean, he just got a really good system running. Plus, on top of what they have there, they've got their structure department. We also have Heirloom Oriental Rug Cleaning. We also own a couple Kin-Dry franchises.
No one does that anymore. No one does that rug cleaning anymore. They don't want to touch it.
I'll tell you what, man. It's a fun thing. I mean, I enjoy doing it. I've kind of over the years made myself to where I can kind of be the Haji jumping around from place to place. So, I've done the carpet cleaning, done the rug cleaning, water mitigation, mold, fire and smoke, all these things, I love the aspect and the versatility because then I don't sit in one place and say, oh, this is getting kind of old. I want to do something else. I mean, in my truck when I'm driving to work, I've got 3 different hats, outfits ready to go. So if I come into work, he needs me to go one direction or the other, then that's where we're running.
Nice.
So, it's nice. And what I'm really enjoying about what I've, the past few months, what we've all been getting to is all these people. And I think it was OP that just said it, the like-mindedness that everybody has that's coming together, and everybody, we keep talking about, instead of being these tiny voices, now we're all getting, a louder voice,
voice.
all of us together. Voice. Yes. And so, just love it, and I really hate the fact that Norp's, conference and the Rebel Summit is on the same weekend, but, we've got, Steve Spence is coming out to Oregon for yours. Perfect. And then, me and Luke are going to go ahead and head down to Norp.
Nice.
So,
on those lines, just to clear up, I don't know. There's a lot of folks. I've had people reach out to me. Well, what's Whitney doing to you? That's so dumb. Doesn't he know? And the plain and simple fact is, putting together an event like this is hard as shit. And I changed the date 3 times. OP can attest to that, and he's been involved since the beginning. We changed date 3 times, and we finally found a spot. We finally found a date that worked for everybody that was going to come speak, and then we just went forward. And then all of a sudden, Whitney says, "Oh no, I've got my same thing." So it's just how it works. But Norp and the Rebel Group, Restoration 2.0, we are one. We are the same thing. We are the same page. We are going to have the same leadership, and Norp is going to be the certification body and the education body, and we're going to be the tip of the spear. We're going to be. I mean, I don't have any alliances, so that allows me to go full bore and speak from the heart, and just go. This is who I am. This is where we're going. and allow the NORP to be the more, even keeled, as it were. I can run off the rails if I want to, but we need both. We need the emotion. We need the leadership and the drive. We also need the kind of the certification body of no, we are going to be serious about this, and we're going to be very reputable and very upstanding about this. So, I'm curious, James, what were the things that your current employer or partners don't get that your new partners will get? What does that look like? What direction were you hoping?
Well, there's a couple different things. Part of it is, I want to move towards, myself personally. I want to keep growing, and I feel like where I'm at right now, I've got some hurdles, and I need I want to prove myself a little bit. With the opportunity of going with fire and flood, I've got the opportunity now to help build the mitigation side and open Luke up for bigger and better things. That's part of one of my goals that we have. With Dave's pretty established. Midwest is a great established company, but they've already got their guys in place. We also have the Chuck DeWald School of Drying up here as well that Dave's a partner with the DeWalds in. Okay. And Chuck, I'm trying to get Chuck come over to our side of things as well, and because a lot of things that me and Chuck have talked about over the years are on the same level of what we are doing. And it's just getting them to look at the pages and say, hey, look, that is. So we're getting to that. I think Dave's starting to come around, but there's opportunities here for the future where I want to get to the point to where I'm training. I want to share all the knowledge that I've gained.
Good for you.
And so by doing that, this is going to open me into a whole new era where I can train guys, get them building up, and build our company at the same time, and then just kind of our goal is to take over the northern half of Indiana. Okay. We want
go Hoosiers.
Yes. So I'm more of an Irish guy myself, but hey, Hoosiers are great too. We want to reach out and we want to take the companies that we have around us, build a relationship with them, but yet also grow to a better quality, for restorers up there as well. Because, you go to the northern half of the state and, we start getting hit or miss on who's up there and who's quality and, who's doing it the right way.
It's getting lowered and a lot of people compromising their business practices just to make a buck. Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people not really knowing it, What I've noticed,
all I know is what they're told, and all they're told is what the TPA says. Okay.
Yes. And I had a guy, actually, I went up to Kokomo and, took a break from being down here because where I drive to get to Midwest is an hour away from my house. So Luke's 5 minutes from my house. That's another good reason why I'm going there. But there was a guy up in that area, and I went to go work for him for a little bit. And what I realized after getting in there is he is a contractor-minded person. He didn't really understand the mitigation side of getting things done. He wanted to be straight cut and gut. He wanted to cut corners, and he never really thought about, well, I can save this, or hey, there's an art form to this.
It wasn't a real restorer.
Yes. Okay. And so, and then we had a whole asbestos issue that,
oh man,
that was
that's becoming a huge thing.
So that was some crazy stuff. But anyways, that was what drew me away from him, and really, that was kind of the spark of where I decided, look, we need more regulation on us as a whole. All right, we need somebody to come in and really say, this is how things need to be done. I'm not just taking a test and walking away and saying, hey, look, I'm certified now. You know what I mean? That piece of paper, I can learn anything from.
I've got IICRC, my friend.
Yes. it's great that we have a standard, but it's a standard. We need to push further past that, and I think we need to have a regulation. Come on, let's think about this. We're regulating plumbers, we're regulating electricians. All right, they have to have a license to perform in the state they work in.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not held to the same accountability when we are dealing with indoor air quality and things that if we don't do things properly, now we're putting a hazard in there.
We're running all these licensed things. We're running IHs. We're running electricians. We're running plumbers.
Yep.
But we don't have a national standard for the things that we do. And I agree 100%. It doesn't make sense. And I would argue that the current standards of IICRC are now losing their credibility because they have so much undue influence from the carrier side. And now, as far as I'm concerned, it's tainted. It has been tainted, especially the last S500 that came out with these air mover calculations. Well, where do the air mover calculations come from? They came from outside. They came from the TPAs and the carriers. So anyway, James, thanks for being here, man. If there's anything, but maybe you don't know, if there's anything we can do as a group to help you, just reach out. Reach out on the Facebook page. Hey, I don't know this. I don't have a question. I have this thing I've never dealt with before. Reach out, and we're all going to be here. Same to you, Mark. I know you're just getting started. There's a lot of hurdles that we can help you avoid. I've fallen on my face enough times. I don't need you to do it. So the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. Just get out there. We're all here to help everyone else. So, Sam, what's up, brother man? Where are you from? Oh, I think I muted you. Let me unmute you. There you go. Samuel. Oh, need a microphone.
Sorry.
There you go. What's up, man? Where you at?
I am up north Idaho, actually. So
okay.
We're in a tiny town called McCall. We're a resort town, very similar to call it Lake Tahoe.
Okay. Or Bend, Oregon. I think I would make that comparison.
Possibly. You've got bedroom communities, similar Sun Valley. You have a lake, ski areas, all that type of stuff. Very high-end community with some regular folks living here. Because of that, almost everything we do is Cat 3. Most times we have everybody that's gone for
because it sits too long. It sits so long before they find it. Yeah, exactly. Got it. Yeah, we got that. We got there in Sun River here too. People come twice a year.
Yep.
Which means
same type of stuff.
6 months in between. Yeah.
Yep. So we're not a volume guy. We're a larger job guy.
Okay.
So, which is what I prefer. I don't like my partner runs another restoration company down in Boise, Nate Morris. I don't think he's on here today. But
see him.
They do more volume, larger city, that type of stuff. Your $2,000-$3,000 jobs. Ours are $40,000-$50,000 jobs. So, we do larger jobs.
When shit goes wrong, it goes wrong.
It goes very wrong. So a lot of stuff, prying open doors because you can't get in, that type of thing. So,
Yep.
We do some of the smoke stuff. We're relatively new to the area up here. I think we're on our 4th year.
What's the name of your company? Let me see that logo.
Let's see here. I don't know where that mic or that.
That's still clean. Got it. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Hat's better. But the
nice. I like that. Sharp.
Yeah, we've done it. As I said, expanded up here. The owner of this one, and I think we took it from, start about 3 years ago, 3-something years ago, and now we're a little over 2 million. So we're decent size, nothing huge, but for the area, we're doing pretty solid.
What's your plan? What's the plan for the future in that market?
We'll take over this market. There's only a handful of us here currently. We're neck and neck with the top leader now. We kind of took them out. They were undisputed for a while.
Okay.
And we'll continue up into the Northwest. I have a bunch of ties in there. So
nice.
I am very anti. That's what kind of turned me on to you guys. My partner is, I shouldn't say partner. He's not a business partner, but he runs a similar company. We used to be partners together. He runs a restoration company in Nampa, same name. And he's very TPA oriented, so he suggested to join this group, which is weird And I was like, okay, well, I'll check it out and see. And then I was like, oh wait, they don't like TPAs. That's fine, because I'm not a TPA guy. So I'm very anti that. We have some small insurance companies here locally that are more Idaho, Oregon based, and so they were fantastic. We used to do a ton of work for them.
Second, Oregon Mutual, Mutual of Umpqua.
Yeah, it's actually Farm Bureau here.
Okay.
But those type of things, yeah, Mutual and Unclaw, they used to be great. I run into some issues with them.
Not anymore, huh? That's disappointing.
Well, I don't know. I think it's because they got hit so hard this last winter. Idaho got hit.
Oh,
really bad.
We got killed.
It just got destroyed.
We had
I believe if you see onion prices go up astronomically, I mean, onions are not going to be expensive, but they had, I think they lost 90% of all onions this year from the onion sheds. And the onion sheds are, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these, but they're massive acre buildings, right? I mean, they're these massive things with huge fans and way to rotate heat so the onions don't rot. And they collapsed from the snow this year.
Yep.
And so they lost billions of dollars. And so they took, and a lot of those were Farm Bureau type stuff. Local insurance does not.
Yeah, those commercial policies took huge hits.
They did. And so, I mean, we had stuff like Les Schwab's and grocery stores and bowling alleys all collapsing this year. Because it was just, they'd been built and they hadn't had that kind of stuff in the last
100 years.
Exactly. And they're expecting, now we're used to it. McCall itself is used to it, but all the surrounding area wasn't. And so they're not built for it, and that snow load destroyed them. And so, like as I said, for Farm Bureau, we've been having issues with them, where they want to do stupid stuff. They want to cut out an 8-foot square on a roof and repair that. They don't want to repair a ridge line. They want to.
No, man, homie, don't play that.
That's what I'm saying. And so I've been the bad guy because I'm just like that's not what we do.
Sorry. Hey, and Mark, just so you know, you did mention that you're trying to get on these TPAs, and there's nothing wrong with that as starting out. And I think Sam will attest to this. It's a good jumping off point, but you've got to have a long-term plan. It's good to get just that revenue and experience, but things like Code Blue, you're giving up 35% of your rental rate on your equipment right out of the gate. It's going to hamstring you incredibly as far as cash flow goes. So you have to have a plan to get off as soon as possible, no matter what you start. So sorry, Sam.
No, you're fine. I don't know if I would attest to that. My partner would. I don't know. I mean, each market is different. If you're trying to start in Chicago and you're trying to get some stuff, if you don't have some cash flow behind you, or you don't have a secondary income stream as like a carpet cleaner or something like that to do it, if you don't have something to keep that going, then how are you gonna to go around it, right?
Right.
But Code Blue, I hate those guys. Excuse the verbiage, but they just constantly chew and Jew you down every single time. They say, if you say you're at 33%, they do, and then in 2 months they say, hey, by the way, guys, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to take a 38% reduction.
And you don't get to write your own invoice.
No,
they write your invoice. Talk about taking the reins of your own company and putting it in somebody else's hands. No, it's not what I like to do.
No, and I understand. Trust me. I mean, guys, remember, I know I run a substantial business here now, but a couple years ago, it was just me and my home, that type of stuff, and now we have, running tons of crews and we run everything. But I also would push heavily on, I don't know if you do anything with any of the software recommendations. I would push heavily on Dash.
Okay.
I've used every single software out there that I can find. I've used PSA, I've used NextGear, I've used Client Runner, you name it.
Well, now NextGear and Client Runner are Dash, right?
Yep, sort of. They're trying to. They haven't done anything with it yet, but they are trying to do some of the entry level market, because Dash is too expensive for entry. It
is.
But what it does is ridiculous.
Well, it's you're buying a Ferrari, and if you don't know how to drive a Ferrari, it's worthless. You might as well just go buy a pickup truck, because that's what you know how to use.
But for anybody that has more than one crew running out there, that type of stuff, I think you have to use it. The equipment saving, you scan barcodes in, it tells you where stuff is, the dry track reports. Up here, I know everybody. I don't know, Andy. I'm sorry. I don't know have you done like ASD or any psychometric stuff? Or
Yeah. I'm
cool.
ASD, MRT. I didn't get my CR, but
Cool.
I've taken.
I just so in there, they always tell you, oh, we can do everything in 3 days and watch us flood this stuff, and I just don't buy it. No. I think it's a flash flood that they do, and then it's not the same stuff as up here where I've had water sitting on concrete and wood for 2 months. I don't dry that in 3 days, and so and then what happens is I need really, really good dry logs to show that. And Dash
and I think David Sweet will attest to that, and he's going to come talk about that. But yeah, he's getting 14-day dry downs.
Yeah,
and these guys are pushing back. Well, we can only allow for your 5 days, and like, no, here's my drying logs. Here's the moisture readings from inside the sill plate. Mm-hmm. Show me I'm wrong.
I actually am a big thing about that. I have almost, I don't know. I mean, hopefully everybody here in the Alliance is doing that, but regularly, I never see restoration companies when we go around to do job sites. We do a lot of chatting back and forth with other companies. Almost never do I see a hammer probe going into a base plate. I never see that.
No, they buy one. They have one on the truck. It just never makes it off the truck.
Exactly, and then they do a non-invasive reading on the top of that base plate and sill plate, whatever you want to call it, depending where you are. And they're like, "Hey, it's dry."
It's dry.
Like, watch this. It's 100% under here still. And guess what? How do you make money? To be honest, we break down to anybody new in the business. You can call us whatever kind of company you want, but we're really an equipment rental business.
You're a rental company, exactly.
Yep. And so, I agree 100%. Why in the world would I want to stop drying 1 to 6 days earlier than I need to?
Well, not to mention the liability that you're taking on your company.
Yep.
By leaving it wet. Well, Sam, awesome to meet you. Ed Connolly, are you in? Are you just chilling? What's the story?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you are. All right. Introduce yourself. Where are you at, Ed?
I am also in Indiana.
Okay.
I'm actually just east of Luke and the other guy. I can't remember his name now. James.
Okay. Yep.
In Muncie. But not much to tell. This was this second generation company that I'm in right now, and my dad started it when I was a kid, and he got lung cancer a few years ago, couldn't work anymore, and so my sisters and I took over. He's doing well, so don't worry about him.
Good.
He's mostly just annoying the crap out of us, trying to get back into work. But so we're a small family business, and we're just trying to kind of, survive.
Yeah. Things are changing fast. Things are really changing fast, and I'm going to go ahead and take the chance to applaud everybody that's in the group. Not just here on the call because not very many, but we are taking the opportunity to move the needle in our direction and take our destiny back in our own hands. Because for the last 20 years, as an industry, we have it. As an industry, we've just been going along, and we wonder why we're in the situation we're in. And the plain and simple fact is we've let it happen to ourselves.
Yeah.
So, how many crews you running?
Just the one. When I say we're a small family business, I mean we're literally a small family business.
There you go. Okay.
Me and my 2 sisters, and then occasionally we have some other helpers come in when we get busy. But
nice.
But we're the business wasn't in good shape when we took over because my dad had been sick for a while, and things had just kind of been sliding.
Nice.
And so it's getting better, but we're not near the point where we would like to be.
Okay.
So we're just we're struggling, and we're just trying to get to that point, and it's difficult because none of us are very good organizers or anything like that. We're good at doing the work, but we struggle with a lot of the organizing and stuff like that. So we're working on it. We're getting there.
If you've got some specific questions about operations, we've got the resources. That's definitely here. There's a lot of folks to answer those types of questions. Looks we've got Mike Bellor. We haven't heard from him yet. Mike, you there? Maybe. Maybe not. All right. Alina, you haven't had a chance to introduce yourself yet.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so I teach restoration contractors how to use Xactimate. That's my big claim to fame, if you will.
So Mark, you want to get her information through the group? Okay.
So I came from training cat adjusters for hurricane tornado, so that's my background 5 years ago. And then about 4 years ago, I jumped the fence and said, hey, what's going on with the contractors? How come no one's training contractors how to do this?
Because no one loves us.
It's so sad. They are the way the industry is so skewed towards the carrier. So I went and got certified as a trainer with Xactware, and I don't hold that status currently, but I do know their thought process and how they approach things, and it is quote unquote fair, even though it's they're owned by Verisk. But there are things contractors can do to counter the disparity in pricing, and I think a lot of contractors just think they have to accept it and run with it, and that is not the truth. There are things that we can do to help with the pricing if it is not right in your area. So that's just some of the things that I advocate for, and then of course just getting a full estimate and not leaving money on the table by making sure all your light items are in there, and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's what I do, and that's what I teach, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. I'm estimating software nerd. I have a lot of fun writing estimates. It's ridiculous.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're just all y'all know. I had Alina on the Claim Clinic podcast, and we were just kind of two peas in a pod, because I write Xactimate estimates for a living for contractors, and she trains contractors in Xactimate for a living. So it's great. It was good. So and then we've been best of friends ever since, right? That's how it goes.
Yes, that's right. Good discussion on things. So
yes, pricing. Do you have any experience with folks in inserting custom price lists? And I think Sam, you'll be interested to hear this subject. Ben Justison out of Tri-Cities or Moses Lake, Washington. He's been very successful in increasing his labor rates by orders of magnitude on things like where, for example, he's got drywall or paint or something. One of his labor rates at $80 an hour, where Xactimate, the standard is like, what, 45 or something like that. So Alina, can you speak to people using custom price lists and manipulating that part of Xactimate?
Yeah, so if you can, you have to substantiate it somehow, of course. So always document and, somehow show them why you're doing it. You can't just say, I want $100 for, this labor today.
Some people do. Some people just take the whole thing and increase it 15% across the board, which I don't agree with necessarily. No.
Right. So what's legitimate and reasonable is really what the argument is. So custom price lists, if you're going to go that route, I don't know. I have a couple of thoughts on that. You should be completing your estimates. I know you guys do this a lot more than the roofing contractors I work with. But when you do a custom price list for an area and label it correctly, if you complete your estimate, it's sending that data up to Xactware through XactAnalysis.
No matter if it's an assignment or not, right?
Right. No matter if it's assignment or not.
Just hit complete and it uploads. Complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so
there's the feedback. All right.
Yeah. That gives them the feedback of what's going on. And the more you can, put notes in there, they're supposed to read the notes and understand why you're doing what you're doing. And they've been pretty good with some of the labor. Like Dallas got hit a 30-mile swath of hail.
And not small hail.
No, it was huge. Yeah, baseball size hail going through sheathing. Anyhow, the labor rates went up by on average $50 per square for R&Ring shingles. So in that instance, Xactware couldn't keep up, and they had to change it. And the only reason they can keep up is if you complete the estimate. So custom price lists are a different animal because you're taking over the software and not really using it as Xactware anymore. It's like you might as well be using Excel spreadsheet in Xactware form because that's what a custom price list is. So that's a little bit different issue than actually changing the industry and getting the pricing to where it should be in your
two different things. The only way you're going to move the needle on pricing in your local market is through that feedback so you're changing the existing price list in the estimate, right? You're
Right.
going in and making that change, and there's a setting in Xactimate when you make a change in an estimate to the pricing, it'll change the price list, right? Because there's
It'll
a setting
flag. Yeah,
you can turn all that on and off, right?
You've got your checkpoint price list and you've got your regular price list,
Okay.
and that's why. Because you can change the regular price list, but the checkpoint price list is static. You can't.
Got it.
It's read only, and that's how they can tell that you've changed it, is because you've deviated from the checkpoint price list. So that's getting a little too nerdy, but
A little bit.
I don't know if you've
That's
ever
right.
seen those two options in your parameters. That's
I have.
why.
Okay.
And so any variations from the checkpoint price list are flagged and sent up.
What do you mean custom O&P,
Yeah,
Sam?
I saw
What does that mean?
note.
He's typing. Must be loud in his office.
I have too many things muted, so I'm like, okay. Sorry, I'm right now for freaking. We have this dude. It's insane. We have a whole basement that filled up with Cat 3, so it was like, okay.
Ooh, sexy. Smells like money.
It's pretty much custom OP. I've seen some people getting away with, not here locally, but getting away with profit part's a little harder. But two things: one, backing up Xactimate put out that white paper saying OMP is not for your supervision.
Included. It's not included. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not. OMP is, as you said, not included. It is not part of having your project manager on site. No. Residential supervision. There's another line item for that.
Mm-hmm.
And locally, oh boy, they do not like that, but they're getting around.
They don't like it anywhere.
They don't like it. They're starting to get that, because I'm like, nah, here's the white paper attached, go away, and they don't. But custom OMP, I haven't seen much luck on the profit side yet, but overhead, if you can go through and somehow substantiate what your actual overhead is in your office to be able to move that up. And I've seen there's a guy down in Tennessee.
So instead of just going to blanket 10, you're using a 15 or 16% modifier.
Yeah, I think he was at like a 30 or something, or like 28 or something.
So he changes
just for O.
Just for the overhead.
Yeah. He could substantiate it, and he shows, based upon this job, how much they've spent running to different places or all this other type of stuff. And I haven't gone into detail on it, but they've been able to justify that. Now, again, the insurance companies do not like that, but you show that your overhead's at X level. So.
Yep, they do that in California a lot. We see that. That's where I've seen a lot of people get that paid. They'll do 20% just across the board on every single estimate for their overhead. Sometimes they'll do it on the profit too, saying, we had to come all the way, we had a lot invested in this job. And it's usually on, large loss kind of scenarios, not your everyday residential. Sounds like you're doing a little bit more large loss than just, your $2,000 to $3,000 jobs. So there, Sam. So that substantiates it. As far as documentation and how backing it up, that's a good one. I don't know how they did it. I know they, like you've heard, they do it. But how do they back it up is a good question. I can do more research and talk to some people on that and get back to y'all. But it's not unheard of. That's for sure.
So, but that's in lieu of using the other line items, right? It's in lieu of using a residential supervision labor.
Well, why? You still have to have that. That's still a cost incurred. You still have a guy out there supervising everything.
Oh.
I mean, that's my argument.
Entirely separate.
Yeah, the overhead that I've seen is just literally for how many more paper clips you're using, how many office staff you have, delivery, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's intended to be G&A, guys. That isn't direct job labor and indirect job layer overhead.
So
those are separate. You still have to track them.
We're doing the indirect costs as overhead and profit modifiers, but the direct costs of supervision is still a direct cost. So you'd use both.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good. Mark, you're getting an education here. This is deep level stuff, my friend. You'll get there soon enough.
I've never played with Xactimate yet, so it's all new. Well,
we'll give you some crutches here. We've got enough resources. I run, like I said, I run claims delegates. I'm a partner in Right Loss, so we do Xactimate estimates for folks like you guys based on your scope sheets every day of the week. And eventually, if you want to get up to speed and write your own estimates, more power to you. But you got to start somewhere.
Good deal.
So, we're going on 44 minutes or 45 minutes. So I'm going to call it. It's great to do this. Timing wise, I'm thinking next week. I'm going to build some consistency into this. I'm going to do this every week, every Wednesday. but we're going to have to play with the time to get different folks across the country involved. So next week, you guys want to go later in the day? Let's give a vote for next week. Just put in the chat box what time you would like to have. Well, yeah, Sam, your Pacific time is perfect for us. You know, doesn't the world revolve around us? Okay, and I'll get some more feedback through the group, but I'm going to do this every week. It's going to be like clockwork, so people can depend on it, so we can get some consistency in here, and just start the dialogue. It was that's what it's about. It's about I found this interesting article on LinkedIn this week, and it was about how do we develop trust. And trust is developed through nothing else but continued, consistent communication. If we don't communicate, we cannot physically build trust with anyone. And so we build ourselves into these little islands and we stop communicating amongst ourselves, and then we think everyone's out to get us. So the more we can communicate, the more trust we can build, and the more things we can do together. So that's one of my goals. So any parting words, my friends? Guess not. Alina, great to see you. David, great to see you. Mark, thanks for coming. Sam, awesome to meet you. Mike, I'm not seeing your picture up here, but Mike, thanks for being here, man. And all right, y'all. We'll see you next week. I'll see you in the Facebook group. All right? Go Rebels.